Well, I think everyone is anticipating a huge refresh cycle when the next iPhone comes out, so anticipation there. Also, the iPhone becomes more valuable as new services become more attractive, even ones not offered by Apple. And of course, Apple's growing its service revenue as well.
Do you see them accelerating that move with moves into original content, talks with Hollywood, things that others have already tried to do in that space?
You know, I really don't know. I'm not involved with Apple, but it would be logical for them to want to move into content. I mean, look at the activity that's going on with Amazon. I mean, they're getting deep into content, turning out some very high quality, which is always an Apple benchmark.
You know, for years we talked about it really being a phone company, despite all their other ancillary games. I'm not so sure that's true anymore.
Well, I think the iPhone is still probably the most valuable product in the world and should continue that way for some time. The real question is, as the iPhone has more and more services and more of them are video, the battery life becomes a big issue, which is why I think people are interested in, will the next iPhone have an OLED screen, less draw on power? You know, will it have wireless charging? You know, will it have a bigger battery? Because the iPhone just doesn't last as long with all of these services pinging up to the cloud as it used to.
When they lost the headphone jack, ostensibly for more battery space, it was a huge outcry, so battery does matter.
Still, John, that $800 billion market cap, I mean, that is quite a milestone for a company. Do you think it's a sign that Apple has climbed this constant wall of worry ever since Steve Jobs died, that the innovation would die along with it, that they weren't diversified enough in terms of products? I mean, you know how many bear arguments there were. They weren't going to work in emerging markets. Is this a sign they've managed to overcome that?
Well, I think the company is extremely well led. I think Tim Cook's done a great job. I suspect it's got a long run for at least the next 3 years. The bigger question, I think, is what happens after the iPhone, you know, which may be in the year early 20s, and will it still look like an iPhone, or will it have a completely different form factor? Remember, the iPhone is a different form factor than anything that came before it. So I think for the next 3 years, it looks very solid.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.